Hey everyone, I got a lot of requests on the method I'm using for doing the heart on the headbands. It's a little easier than the original video that's out there. So wanted to share with you guys real quick how I'm doing that and hopefully help some people out. So some things that you're going to need. The first thing is you want to make your tube, and your tube is 83 rows. Mine's actually done on a 40 needle, but you can do this on a 40, 46, or 48 needle. Any size will work. And as you can see on mine, I have the waste yarn at the start and the end. I think it makes it a little bit easier, but I can show you how to do that without actually having that waste yarn on there if you prefer not to do it. The other things you're going to need a heart-shaped carabiner. And I actually purchased these on Amazon. They come in a pack of 10. I think they were right around $7 for the pack of 10. And they don't really have a size listed on them. They look like they're about an inch across. But they're called Baby Bell aluminum carabiners. So there's that. You're also going to need some sort of needle and then a pair of scissors. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So you want to find the end of your yarn here, and we want to fold our tube in half with your string here closest to the end. All right. And you want to leave a really long tail on it. Let's see, probably 12, 24. So I've got over 36 inches, close to probably 4 feet on there. You probably don't necessarily need that much, but you want to keep a lot on there for the method that I'm going to show you here. So I just go to the bottom of your heart there, and then I'm going to take the yarn, and I'm going to start picking up my stitches here. All right, so we're going to pick up the stitches here at the end. So see how we picked up the bottom 2 stitches? And then just hold your carabiner there, and you want to just stitch right around your carabiner, right? So that first stitch isn't going to hit it, but now when we go into it, on this next stitch that we pick up, it's hiding in there, I'm going to pick that up, and you're going to see how this is going to work. All right, pick up the next stitch, and the beauty of this way is it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. Just make sure that you pick up every stitch along the way. All right, you want to keep them side by side and not laying on top of each other. If they end up on top of each other, it's no big deal. You can make it work either way. So just make sure, like I said, that you pick up every stitch as you go down through. Now the other thing you can do if you're not using the waste yarn, just use the whip stitch technique and basically stitch all your stitches together to make a flat panel, and then attach it to your carabiner afterwards this way. So go through 2 stitches and then under your carabiner like that, and then right up around it and pull it tight. And go into your next 2, into your carabiner, and then as you get further down, you just want to take those stitches and shove them down on your carabiner so that you can get to the next set. Pull it around there, the next 2. Your next 2. Just shove it down on the and again, it doesn't have to be perfect as long as you're picking up all of your stitches. Okay, we're just about to the end. All right, so we still have a big long tail on there. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that tail here in just a little bit after I'm done with the other side. So I'm just going to hold that all together, pull it up like that, find the end of my tail, and just pull off all that waste yarn. Inside out of there. Sometimes you cross your stitches with that waste yarn, just cut it nice and close and then pull it out the other side. Okay, so there's side one. And again, we'll come back to that long tail in just a few minutes after I do the other side. So let me go ahead and do this other side, and then I will be, well, let me show you how to get it started, and then I'll pause it so you don't have to watch me do this whole other side again. So just bring it up on this side, roll that back. Again, you just want to make sure you're grabbing all of the stitches, make sure you find all of them there. I'm just going to pick that one and that one up. And then we get started. Okay, so I just finished up the second part of that. So we're going to leave both of our tails on there. Let me pull that one off. And then we need to get rid of our waste yarn. So just a quick trick that I found, I don't know if anybody else does this, but I'm going to find your end here and see what direction, see this string, see what direction that string's running in. So what I do is I go over here to the left side of it, and then I pull on that string, go all the way back through, and then you want to go back to the first stitch there, pull that out, and now it will just unravel. Let me get this tail out of the way so I don't get it tangled up in there. So now it just unravels. Just want to work it around your headband. And if it gets tangled up, you just grab your scissors and cut your waste yarn off. Okay, there's your waste yarn. All right, so now here's what it looks like at this point. You can see that you can have pieces of your carabiner that are still showing through. We've got all of our stitches now on the carabiner. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this longest tail here that we started out with, and we're going to stick our needle back on here. So pull that little stitch down nice and tight there. Pull that one nice and tight. And then you just want to start working around that carabiner. Like work into your stitches here and just start kind of bulking that up. I go over to see how I'm coming through the piece on this side with the yarn from this side, just to kind of draw those together and keep it nice and tight there in the center. And then I'll crisscross this one from this side back over here, and just a few. So I'll show you how to work that in there at the very end. But just work around and just kind of double at those stitches. There's no, no right or wrong way to do it. Just fill it in, and no particular place you need to go through the actual stitch. I just want to try to keep them a little bit straighter so that you don't end up on the front there, so you don't end up with like a weird crisscross on your stitch. Some of my waste yarn fuzz coming through there. Okay, let's just work on down the carabiner. If you want to, change the position of your heart with this technique, you can cant it sideways. You can put it in there pretty much any way you want to put it in there, and just slide those stitches around as needed. Okay, now we're going to go back over and pick up the original. Just kind of snug everything down there. Go back and pick that out after a bit. That way I'm not wasting time with that. Have to excuse my dogs in the background. They sound like they're trying to eat each other in there. All right. I'm going to switch to the other piece of yarn here in just a second. So what you want to do is you want to go around to the back side of your work. So pull your yarn around there, and then you're going to flip that wrong side out. So we're on the back side of the work now. And you want to take that yarn, and to finish it off, you just want to pull it nice and tight, and then bring your needle in right at the top of the stitches where it wraps over. And you just want to kind of push it through there. It's a little snug, so you just do a couple stitches at a time. But this is going to secure that. This is going to secure that yarn into place, so that you don't have to worry about having knots or anything in your work. So just wiggle it through there. Make sure you're not pushing it through the front side. You want to keep it on the back. And like I said, just push it down underneath of those stitches up as tight to that carabiner as you can, and the portion that's tight there. Okay, trim that side off. Okay, so now we've got our second piece of yarn there, and just basically trying to work the two sides together. We've got the carabiner well covered, as you can see. You don't see it sticking out anywhere. It's nice and even. So now we've got that stitch pulled through. I'm going to turn it over to the back the way we just did a second ago. And we're just going to pull that nice and tight there, and then just start working it in to the tight part of the stitches. So you see where the yarn comes over here, and then this is where the knit stitches start. You just want to push it in underneath of those looped around stitches, so it's going to hold that nice and tight. So just push it through and pop it out there in the end. And then just work down through a ways. And it's going to hold that yarn nice and snug in place. If you haven't tried these needles yet, oh my gosh, I highly recommend them. They're so nice. They fit between the prongs when you're taking your stitches off of your knitting machine. It fits in there really well to pop them off, and then it's so easy to thread your yarn through the top of the needle there. All right, I'll put it through these last couple stitches, and then we're going to cut that off. And I'll show you what we ended up with. It's much easier on the hands than trying to hold that carabiner open that whole time. And right, so there's the wrong side of your work, which actually you could make that your right side also, and then turn it over that way. And there is your heart headband. And if you need to push it around, just straighten it up on there. If you want a little more centered, however you need to do it, just push your stitches around and wiggle that heart around however you need. There you go.